morning, everybody. It is almost a quarter after 7 on this 4th day of May 2018. It is, I think it's International Star Wars Day, so may the 4th be with you. Haha. Funny, funny, funny. Okay. Anyways, so sorry I was not here yesterday. I just could not make it. That was hectic mornings lately. Blech. Let's take a peek. Well, real quick, we've got non-farm payroll reports coming up, and we have that news, but also we have some big moves in our cryptocurrency markets. I think it's important to take a look at those. So we need to take a look at Bitcoin and view how it has been operating lately. So Bitcoin, well, wait a minute. There's something up with this. That is odd. I've noticed this happening lately, like everything gets kind of skewed. Why are these shifting? They should not be shifting. Well, it's a good thing I came on early here. Well, that's right. But why is this? And okay. Two zero one 6 4. It's a peculiar thing. I do not know why this happens, but it does. Oops. Okay, that's good for now. Maybe. Okay, so looking at Bitcoin, we've got some really interesting moves. Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin, all kind of shot out yesterday, which is good because we were in this really consolidative triangle here, kind of ping-pong around, making these higher lows but lower highs, and forming really what you could consider some type of a bullish flag or a bullish pennant, depending how you want to look at it. And typically when you see these kind of things set up, you know when you're getting a breakout, and that's where we're sitting right now. So we've made a double top, and now we've kind of made a triple top at this level, and the 10,000 value area is right up in front of us. So we could really see a pretty expansive move to the top side here this morning. That would be a very kind of interesting and active thing to see. If I'm looking here, I really don't see anything stopping it, really. It should just, excuse me, it should just continue to move higher. So that's good news for cryptocurrencies in general, to see some activity and movement. And who knows, we may see that 10,000 value area showing up here fairly soon. Okay. Now, if we take a look at our currency markets, regular currency markets, we've got NFP coming up in 12 minutes. Let's see how these guys have moved lately. Gold continuing, the euro continuing to have its fallout here. Just continuing to drive down and lower. Just really nice moves on this lately. And we saw that we tried to trade up back above this arc, but really unable to stay above it, and we fell down. And looks like we've tried to find a little support here. We unsure of whether that's going to hold or not. We should expect probably a continuation down to this 118 zone in the euro. That is certainly a very logical area for price to go. Looking at the dollar yen, expected pullback, which was necessary, kind of coming back down to the 45 here, which is really back into the normal value area. Finding a zone of support around the 45 is more than likely where we're going to see the next bounce activity happen. Understandable rejection up here at first. Really not seeing anything on this chart indicating a strong reversal. However, looking at this on the daily, we see we got stopped on a time cycle line, and this is looking a bit resistive here on the daily. If we take a peek at the weekly, we are probably looking to go short next week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 6th week. We'll see what happens here. We may just be entering into a consolidation range before we get a monstrous breakout to the top side. We'll have to observe this pretty closely and keep our eyes on it. Pound dollar. 3rd week, man, just a no break. I mean, look at that. It's still near its lows for the week today. We are really watching something big move here. This is not showing any signs of strength yet on the weekly. On the daily, let's see, what do we got on the daily? Same thing. I mean, look, there was yesterday, if we look at this, there was clear buying attempts, and we were talking about going long maybe at some point here, but these buying attempts did not pan out, and we've actually traded lower today. Now, we'll have a different opinion about this if we close above the close of yesterday, or certainly if we form some type of higher high on the daily here. But probably more importantly, if we don't breach the low of yesterday, then that would be kind of a, hey, heads up, watch out. US dollar, Canadian dollar finally breaking out into this, breaking out of this arc. However, the breakout of the arc has just been due to time. It's just been kind of sliding by here. We've been in this consolidated range now for 10 days. Ever since the 24th of April, we've been in this range. So be aware of that. Aussie dollar, very obvious bear flag being set up here. There's going to be a good short if we can get a short below 75.11. That's probably going to be our first short opportunity because we are looking for this to break lower. Oops, AUD USD short at 0.75. All right. Otherwise, certainly if we get a cross and a hold above this arc, we'll be looking to go long. The New Zealand dollar, 7 minutes until NFP. The New Zealand dollar, now NFP is like, last week was a miss, but it really didn't matter much for movement. And this week, it's supposed to be a hit. So we'll see what happens. New Zealand dollar, looking a little heavy here, but found support on this arc, which is pretty normal. But we'll have to see how price is going to really respond here. That's going to be the telling difference. We'll see how much strength there is in some of these attempts to move higher because, there's just not a lot of conviction. I mean, if you think about it, All right. If I'm looking at the euro, let's take a look at the strength of these drives down. If you take a look at the euro, and we were up near 124, all right, and now we've traveled all the way down to 119. All right, we've had almost 500 pips of movement, and since the 18th of April. So that's a big drive down. If we look at the weekly, I mean we are looking pretty ugly on the weekly. And this previous supportive buying zone is where we're at, but we're crossing below it. That is bearish. I fully expect us to come back down to the 116.89 zone. That's what I really expect us to do. And I tell you what, if we were looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 expansion on this, I don't think we did. I think we got a 1, 2. I think we got an ABC corrective. And now we're going to move lower. Big time lower. Like possibly below $1 lower. I mean, it would have to be below $1 lower. It could be an ugly trip. So be careful of that. 5 more minutes till NFP. On the euro, we should look to, this has got a bear flag happening here. Probably going to want to short below the second low here, 119. What is that? 119.45. That's what we're looking at. Gold may be looking like a good short again as well if we break below. If we have the flag here, maybe looking at 1306. Certainly a good setup if we can get that. Yeah, I gotta put in my trade for that here. I thought I did, but I didn't. I gotta set my stop. There we go. All right. 3 minutes. US dollar, Canadian dollar. Now we originally had buys like at the kind of where we're at now, the 128.84 zone is where we want to go long. But because we have not crossed beyond this by price action, we've just crossed beyond it in time. We still have supportive activity now of this arc. We just don't have as bullet. We didn't have like a breakout condition. So what we should be looking for the next leg up right here, this is an important zone right here. We have a pivot in time and price. And so what we're looking for is some type of culmination or continuation or a trend reversal. Now, looking at the daily chart, all right, looking at the daily chart, I see that we're like coming off of a bull move, but coming off of a bear move. But overall, we are pretty, we're pretty bearish in the long term. We're forming a bear flag here. If we break above and hold above this pivot, we should break significantly higher. But if we don't, we're going to fall much lower. This zone right in front of us is a pretty important zone that we need to keep track of. And I think that the long opportunity is a good one if we hold above that pivot. But we'll see what happens. We'll want to, this is a hard area. I mean, we could get in early if we wanted to. We want to see price get up here, reject, retest, and then break out. That's what we really want to see have happen here. That is the ideal the ideal thing to see. Now we are 1 minute from the NFP, and let's see what happens here. Waiting. And we see price moving all over the place. There's the euro. All right, now what do we got? We've got hourly earnings 0.1 worse than expected. Previous was 0.3%. The consensus was 0.02. The actual was 0.1. And then non-farm payrolls, we had 103 previous. Okay, so, and then the consensus was 192, but the actual was 164. Now here's the funny part about how all these things play out. So the consensus was meant to be higher by a lot, like 80% higher than last, but the actual was 164K, which is still significantly higher than the previous. So it was 103 before, and the actual was 164. So it was worse than expected, but it was still a beat. That's how all of those things go. It's all sorts of silly. Now we should see probably, because it was a beat, we're probably going to see some fallout here in a lot of these price ranges that we have going on. EU probably going to retrace lower. Dollar yen probably going to retrace higher. Pound dollar going to fall down lower. Aussie dollar, we're looking for that breakdown over here. Yeah, so nothing really big and drastic. Probably going to see continuation. U.S. dollar, Canadian dollar, going to more than likely maybe see a rise up again. Yeah, see some good moves. I know I started early today. Again, it's Friday, non-farm payroll. You know, where it's kind of hard to tell what something's going to do, especially after we come off of a few weeks of big moves, and then seeing some counter trend moves followed by some consolidation and back and forthness. Ultimately, because the trend is still so strong, we should see, you know, that continue and really not bet against that. That is the usual ebb and flow of how these markets move. All right. Otherwise, I definitely think that next week we should see a lot more activity. That second week in May that we get, the first full trading week in May is really usually a pretty good trading week, followed by the very last trading week in May is a very good trading week. And then we kind of get into the doldrums of summer where we've got June, July, and August. And those are sometimes a little bit slower markets. At least in equities and Forex, I'm sure we're going to be pretty wild. There's still a lot of stuff that is going on. Still a lot of moves that we need to keep our eye on. And yeah, I think we'll have a lot of fun trading opportunities coming up here in next week. Certainly compared to last week and the week before, this week it seems a little bit less of a drag. I certainly Missed some trade opportunities this week, but you know, always like to play it better safe than sorry. Got some good counter trend trades, but also missed some back into the trend. But that is perfectly fine. And just kind of looking at this US dollar Canadian dollar pair trade around here, kind of reverting back to the mean, not doing much. Just kind of hovering here. Yeah, just kind of bouncing around a little bit, nothing big. That's a good candlestick though. See, pound dollar trying to go higher. US dollar pushing lower, or the dollar yen's pushing lower. Euro dollar trying to push higher. Gold trying to push higher. Actually, it's probably a good reversal area right there, probably. Let's see what else. New Zealand dollar trying to push higher. Let's see what the other one's doing. Aussie yen doing its thing. Yeah, otherwise, mostly kind of just a neutral zone. I mean, if we look at where did we're on the if we look back on the 30th, which was the Wednesday. No, sorry, Monday. We've really retraced back into value. I mean, we've gone from we're back at really near that opening value. So not much really of an aggregate move this week. And we should look to see what the rest of the month is going to bring us and see what we're doing. Probably get a nice bouncing zone off of UJ here as we get closer to the 45. I could probably get a nice bounce on this even right here. Be fun to watch. Anyways, you guys have a good rest of your day. Have a good weekend. We're going to spend more time next week together. Had like an interruption this week and then a shortened day the other day. Really apologize for that. Sometimes life just interrupts life. And I want to go over a lot of training stuff with how to set up my charts again and go through some more trades. And we're definitely going to take a look more at the cryptocurrency market and look at some altcoin trades because we're turning back into a tradable market, not such a one-sided, only one direction market with a lot of the altcoins. We're getting some counter trend trades and some good opportunities in a lot of those other ones. So yeah, looking pretty good and healthy. And you guys have a good rest of your week, and I will talk with you later. Bye bye.